Just gonna go live. I've been meaning to go live all day. Oh, hey everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen here. I've been meaning to go live. I've been trying to get live all day, and here I am. So if anyone catches this, welcome. If nobody catches this, if you're catching it on the replay, welcome. I have a cup of tea because it's been a long day. Let me make sure I'm actually live and that people can actually hear me. So give me 0.25 seconds, 0.25. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit longer, just to make sure that the whole, yep, I think I'm live. And there I am. I'm taking myself out of my ear because I'm live, which is all I concern myself about. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's been a while since I've been live. I've been putting out videos, but not live. You know, life got busy. Life's been busy, y'all. You know how it is. Life has been busy, but I feel like we need to talk about strategies for building your tribe, because you know what, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff, but I want to point out to you, when I tell you to protect your peace, when I tell you that is rule number one, that our peace is non-negotiable, what's happening all over social media and now finally starting to leak into mainstream media is exactly why I took a break from my regularly scheduled content of uplifting my sisters as we transition through our Gen X years to come and talk specifically about not clicking the bait, getting rid of the vampires who are leeching on you, the ones who are trying to push you to do things that you don't want to do, you shouldn't have to do, you're not ready to do, or daggone it, it's not your job to do. And I did that because if we study history, and we should all study history, if we study history, we understand shock and awe. We all understand that the best way to overwhelm your enemy is to overwhelm your enemy and make it so that they feel like they can't find themselves coming or going, and so that they're discombobulated. And so I took a break from talking about building your health. I took a break from talking about starting a new business and our bingo card for 2025. I took a break from that to focus on keeping us mentally on track together. Because if we don't stay mentally focused and balanced, the whole purpose is to make us afraid. And I'm not letting us go into 2025 spending every single day in such a heightened state of anxiety that we don't know what's up or down. So today I'm back talking about some things that are really important, which is finding our tribe, finding the people who actually want to be a part of our lives. And I'm not going to be here for a long time. I know I'm only here for a short time, but I hope it's a good time. If this is your first live stream with me or you're catching the replay, I'm Dr. Sasheen, host of Women in Transition Vlogcast. And I like to talk to Gen X women who are in the transitionary years of their life, looking to go from one chapter to the next with as little disruption as possible as they find their next big thing. I'm also, kind of on a side, here to help you find your peace as you move through whatever process you might find yourself in. My musings are my own. I talk from my experiences, my education, and my understandings of life in the world. I have several degrees, and I've been on the planet a little while. If you listen to me, you know I like to say, we've been around for a while. We got some experience that we can pull on, some skills that we can speak to that will help us navigate the things that are happening to us. And one of the things that are happening to us is we're losing friends. If you haven't had a chance to watch The Grief of Losing Friendships, you need to watch that. Because part of building your tribe or finding your tribe is figuring out who you lost, and if they need to be replaced, or if it's just time to let that role in your life go. Because some of us have hung on to relationships that we really had no need for anymore, but they were comfortable, right? And when I talk in The Grief of Losing Friends about the friends being so important to us because of the family of love, not by blood, but by love. And so to lose them hits us in a place and hits us so in such a way that it leaves a scar that never fully goes away. It also is a recognition that sometimes those friendships that we sustain because we didn't really know each other, hint, hint, were just there, and we probably overlooked a lot of things that we should have just cut off a long time ago. But that's not what this is about, because here's the thing. I have been listening, first of all. Let me side note tangent. I watched the Grammys yesterday. I had so much fun dancing in my living room. I had a blast singing at the top of my lungs. And I've had a completely wonderful day just enjoying the aftermath of that show. I've been listening to music on my phone as I've been working. In fact, I think I've danced to Kendrick Lamar like 15 times today, but that's beside the point. Because it is really important right now to find your joy. Before you start thinking about building your tribe or finding your tribe, ask yourself, who are the people that I want to surround myself with right now? We want the truth tellers, absolutely. But you know what? We've talked about it, and I'll talk about it again at some point, but there's a video about it. Find the sources of news that tell the truth, okay? Find the sources of news that are fact-based, not opinion-based. Find the sources of news that are not compromised, the sources of news that aren't dependent upon a particular perspective in order to give you the facts of a situation. Okay, I've argued with people this past few days about media literacy and understanding what is a fact and what is an opinion. There is this picture floating around of ICE agents escorting a Trump supporter, and it's the back of the Trump supporter, and the shirt says Latinos for Trump, and on either side of this construction worker in this hard hat, I'm not sure if y'all have seen it, and I should have pulled it up, but anyway, are two ICE supporters. That picture is a fake. The picture itself was doctored from an actual photo taken from 2018, I think. And the shirt didn't say Latinos for Trump. And the ICE badges being worn by the cops on either side are actually HSI badges or jackets. The vest with with the name on the back. They're actually Homeland Security. They weren't ICE. And so you've got to find your truth tellers. That's part of your tribe now. Your job is to find the sources of information that you can believe in. Because I'm telling you, in the past 48 hours, what's it been? Trade up, trade down, trade war with Canada, one with Mexico. Are we doing it? Are we not? And you know what it is? It's the setup for the savior, y'all. It's the setup for the savior. As long as, because Biden also renegotiated trade with China, Canada, and Mexico when he came into office. You know what he did not do? Make a spectacle about it. Make it seem like it was going to be a trade war if they didn't agree to send troops to the border. Biden got thousands of troops committed to the border by these countries without going into any of this. So this over-the-top hyperbole is by design. So you've got to find, as part of your tribe, your truth tellers, the ones who are giving you the facts. If you like hyperbole, there are lots of folks out there to give it to you, okay? Not a problem. But if you just want information, if you're like me, who clicks the information bait, because I do stay informed. I'm not out of the loop, but I am not listening to every pundit and every influencer with a platform. I cannot do that because then we're just chasing our trauma. We're just chasing the feeling of being in trauma all the time. And we can't do that and protect our peace. And I practice what I preach. My number one rule in life is that my peace is non-negotiable. If I have to have my peace negotiated, then I better be getting something really, really good out of it. So I follow very few people. And I don't follow hardly any of the political people on social media because number one, you're going to hear the same thing all the time because they're all reporting the same news, right? Number two, I have a liberal bent. So most of the people that I'm going to follow have a liberal bent. I don't need 10 of those people. I don't need it. I need to hear what the people that I am following have to say. I don't need 15 of those people. I don't need 15 different perspectives on the exact same thing that really are the same perspective, just out of a different mouth. I don't need that. You might need that, but I don't need that. And so you've got to ask yourself, who tells me the truth and keeps my blood pressure down? Who does it? Who gives me the facts? Hang on, y'all. I have to shift my chair. Who gives me the facts that I need? Oh, I'm moving my desk. Hang on a second. There we go. Sorry. It's like leaning against the wall here, so it's driving me crazy. Who gives you the information that you need, that you can use, that allows you to make informed decisions? That is your truth teller segment of your tribe, okay? Whoever that may be. I follow some news outlets and I follow some pundits. Because I do like to get context. Sometimes I'm not well versed in everything. So sometimes I don't know all the ins and outs of the trade agreements. But I don't need to follow people who are like trade war, trade war, trade war. I don't need to follow those people. I do follow people who are like, okay, listen, if we get into a trade war, here is what that actually looks like on the ground. I need that kind of information. So for me, truth tellers have to be very fact based, and I don't deal well with hyperbole. In fact, I teach public speaking right now, and I have to tell my students all the time, you have to watch your words. Your words matter. And if you engage in a bunch of hyperbole, you're going to lose your audience because audiences like me just want facts with maybe some evidence and explanation. I don't need you to ramp my blood pressure up. Okay. So part of your tribe has got to be the truth tellers. Okay. Preferably the truth tellers that you trust, and that you have access to, not 24/7 access, just access, right? Just access. Second, who else do we need in our tribe right now? We need healers. We need healers. Who in your life heals you? Who in your life has the spirit of healing? I have people in my life, amazing artists. One who's doing a Black History Month series right now. And whenever her works pop up, because she's putting them out on Instagram, I listen to it when she talks about her art, when she shows her art. I follow her because her work heals me. It takes away some of the darkness of the world. You've got to find healers for your tribe. They can be people that you actually have a relationship with. They can even be people that you simply have a parasocial relationship with. In other words, you know them, but they have no clue that you exist. But they need to be people that give you a sense of healing deep in here. Because a lot of what's happening right now is designed to break us. But we are Gen X. What is our motto? We bend. We do not break. We don't break. We've lived through too much to let Trump break us. Okay. We have lived through and will live through more before we let this person break us. But in order to do that, we need healers. And now, healers, I believe, should come in two categories. One should be those who heal you, heal your soul, heal your emotions, who allow you to feel joy, because joy is so healing, right? Who allow you to feel happiness unencumbered, because that's so important. I love music. Like I said, I watched the Grammys last night. I spent such a great time dancing to music that I knew and music that I didn't know. Artists that I love and artists I'd never heard of before, but I was like, oh, I know that song. I like that song. And so that happy feeling for almost 3 hours last night did wonders for my disposition today. You've got to find your happy people. You have to find people that allow you unencumbered joy, whether it's your knitting group, your crochet group, your running group, whether it's on television with folks that you don't know if you pass them on the street, but their comedy makes you smile or their music makes you hype, right? So that's the first group of healers. But the second group of healers have to be people in your actual space, people for whom you feel safe with. And this is really, let me grab your tea. Let's talk about it. For a lot of us, the safety factor of our friendships right now is at an all-time low. We trusted people. We don't know if we can trust new people. We don't know where they stand, right? To heck with trying to find love. We're just trying to find friends who believe that I'm a human, friends who believe in our humanity, friends who believe in the existence of whoever I am. Like, right? So the safety factor is at an all-time low. You've got to find a healing place, healing friendships that allow you to feel safe with them. That means you're going to vet your new friends, but that means you have to be willing to make new friends. So if you can't get out of your house, it's winter, there are 3 different viruses going around and bird flu is starting to make us all a little bit crazy. If you're still not comfortable getting out there into the world, then you need to start joining Facebook groups and other groups and places where people congregate that make you feel good. You can be on Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. Speaking of which, throwing this out there, I may start a Discord server where we can come together once a week and have a just wonderful time sharing and uplifting and holding each other up as we navigate some of the anxiety. Keep that on the back burner. There's some big things brewing for this channel. That's possibly one of them. I'm still weighing if Discord is the right place, though. But back to my point. You got to have people who love what you love and who legitimately are safe people and see your humanity, see who you are, and don't just pretend like they like you, but really would do nothing to protect you. Okay. So in our healing space, we need our happy places, but we also need people. We need the brush of people. We need the energy of people that we can trust. You cannot trust them right away. You shouldn't trust anybody right now who you didn't know before the election, who has proven that they're still a good ally and advocate for you. Those people are great. But if you didn't know them before the election and you're meeting them now and they're part of a group that you kind of been side-eyeing because you've heard some things about how they voted, side-eye them until they have proven themselves to be trustworthy. And if they don't prove themselves to be trustworthy, keep it moving. Keep it moving. We're too old to be standing still waiting for folks to figure out how to convince us to be trustworthy. Be trustworthy or don't. But if I find out that you're not, I'm going to keep it moving now. But you got to join groups and start talking to people. So in addition to hanging out in social media, I actually joined them before the election. When I moved from New York to Kansas, which is where my family is, which is why I came back. But when I got to Kansas, I realized I don't have a network anymore of people. So I joined Kansas City-based groups so that when I'm ready to get out, there are people out there. And I joined Black women-specific based groups, okay? Because I want to be around Black women. I want to be around like-minded women who look like me and believe certain things to be true and right about the world in the way that I do. You've got to find those people. This is not a battle, that thing that we're not talking about, that election thing. This time that we're in is not a battle that we can fight in isolation. And if you're on the front lines of it, or you're thinking about getting, onto the front lines of it, or you're part of the growing resistance, whatever your role may be, you've got to have people who make you feel safe. Your healers help you feel safe. You go off to the battle, but you come back to your cheerleaders, the people who are like, go you, look at you out there doing the big things, or out there doing the small things. Maybe you decide to run for office. I'm not telling you to, but maybe you do. You need people who are like, we got you. We got your back. We got your side. Heck, we'll have your front if you need us to. You need healers. Healers help you heal. They help buffer the world with you, and they allow you to be authentic, and they see you. They see you. Okay, so we need truth tellers and we need healers. Okay. The third group of people that we need in our tribe are encouragers. Now, healers are really good about helping us feel whole and happy, but we need encouragers. These people specifically are going to look at your life and say, how can I help you dream bigger? And then how can I help you get there? And go you. You want to start a business? Let me help you write a business plan. You want to lose 10 pounds? I'll go for a walk with you. You fell off the wagon of your dry January didn't go well for you. We'll start again in February. You need encouragers. And here's why you need encouragers, especially now. Okay. As we get older, it gets harder to make friends because we are set in our lives, and it's hard for folks to break into that life that we've already created for ourselves. Well, then along comes a traumatic event that kind of upends our network of people. And it's also an opportunity for us to look around and go, some of the people who are no longer around weren't very nice to me. They weren't very encouraging. They didn't, in fact, seem to care a whole lot about me, and they never really seemed to be excited for my life. Now's a really great time to find people who are interested in the things that you want to do, to find people who are going to encourage you because they're on the same journey as you are. They're in the same place. They're around the same age, and they're thinking about moving to another country. Go find those people. Get out there and find those people. Get online and find those people. Join those communities. They're around the same age as you, and they're thinking about writing their first book. Get out there and find those people. I ran a writing group for quite a while. We met every Saturday for an hour and we worked on our projects together. This was last year. And it was so great. I got so many things done. It was a great group of women. And we disbanded last summer and we just never came back together because life got to life. But that group of women that met up and just wrote for an hour and we would take a break and then we would talk about our projects for about 30 minutes and then we were off. And it felt so connecting because whatever you wrote in that hour, we were like, yes. And if you said, oh gosh, I just can't, we would stop and go, hey, let's have our powwow now. Maybe we can help you over your writer's block. You've got to have people who encourage you to start crocheting, stop crocheting, start knitting, stop knitting. You want to take up lace making? How can we help you do that? You want to become an artist? What's your medium? How can I support you? In your world is enough things that will tear you down. On social media are enough people waiting in the wings to tear you down. In your life should be people who encourage you. That is their job. You might be part of someone else's encouragement tribe. If you are, take your job very, very seriously. If you are someone's healer, take your job very, very seriously. If you are someone's truth teller, take your job very, very seriously because you have been entrusted to play a role in the life of someone who needs you. Because we all need each other and we're not going to make it through the next 6 months if we don't start building a tribe that goes with us every step of the way. And then finally, the fourth kind of person that you need in your tribe. I love it. The fourth kind of person that you need in your tribe doesn't have a role. You just need people who just like you. How many of y'all are hanging out with people who don't like you? Just don't like you. Listen, there's this phenomenon. I'm kind of glad I got rid of TikTok, but I do miss it sometimes. Where I would watch these videos of people at their birthday parties, or people put these snippets up, and there's some doctoring of these videos, but some of these played for that 10-minute window that you get sometimes, and you would just see people surrounded by people who didn't seem to like them very much, who weren't smiling or happy for them, who did terrible things, just terrible things to hurt them or destroy their joy. You need to find people who like you. Why are y'all hanging out with folks who don't like you? And why are y'all staying in relationships with men that don't like you? I don't get it. Don't get it. I have some pretty simple rules when it comes to dating as well. Just so we're clear. We'll talk about those another day. But the rules that I have for having a lover in my life aren't that different than having friends in my life, in the sense that you need to like me. And if you don't like me for whatever reason, then that's okay. But I'm not going to let you be a mean girl to me. Like, I'm not going to let you play that role. And so I kind of liken it to, I don't know if you've seen the movie Waiting to Exhale, but if you haven't, you should absolutely see it. Those women in that movie were so different, and yet they were so close. Because regardless of their station in life, from Bernadette, who was very wealthy, to Layla Rashawn, who was not, who was dating kind of the sketchy guy, and everywhere in between on the friendship spectrum, those women liked each other. They didn't always agree with each other, but they liked each other. And here's how you know if your friends like you. They will defend you when you're not in the room. They don't lead the charge to tear you down because they're your friend and they will stick up for you. They're not just the encouragers. They're the ones who are like, let me take my earrings off. Are you talking about my friend? No, you're not talking about my friend. There is no way you're talking about my girl. They're taking off their earrings and kicking off their shoes and like, square up. What's the problem here? Because they like you. And that like is the love of family of choice. Those are the ones that we pull into our lives and we love them deeply because we have chosen them as our families. So you're going to go find some truth tellers today. You're going to go find some healers. God, we need some healers. Need them, need them, need them. And your healers, remember, there are two levels of them. Your healers can be your therapists, they can be the music that you listen to. But what they have to bring you is joy in your spirit and a healing feeling in your body so that you can continue to move forward. Okay. You need your encouragers, people who are going to cheerlead you and lift you up in the days when you're like, I do not know if I can continue to do this. And they're like, yes, you can. How can I help you? Yes, you can. How can I help you? Because you are amazing and the world needs you. That's the third category. You need them. And then finally, you need people who like you. Okay? Genuinely like you. Don't suffer your presence because they want to get something from you. Don't form a relationship with you at work, pretending to like you because you're work buddies. No, you need people who like you. And how do we know they like us? They talk about us when we're not around, and it's a good thing. They know who we are. They may not remember our birthday on our birthday, but they then send like 50,011 different things 2 days later because they were late, because they like us. And when you like someone, like a sister, you want to know that they're okay. When you like someone, you want to know, did you eat today? Girl, you sound a little stressed. Have you had some water? When you like someone, genuinely like them, you are a part of the narrative fabric, the story of their life. And that is a powerful position to be in, to be someone who is liked by someone else. Because like usually means family by choice, not by blood, but by love. And we all need a little bit more of that today. So I feel like it's really important to start finding these tribes today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, because the news is just going to continue to get crazy. And you've got to bring some barriers to bear so that you can begin to ask yourself, okay, what's next? How do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? Today's been overwhelming. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to engage with my truth tellers for an hour. I'm going to look at my whatever news outlets I like, and I'm going to listen to the pundits that I trust. And then I might chat with my girlfriends who are also of the same bent that I am, so I can make sure I've got the right perspective on what I'm thinking about, and we're having a good conversation. I'm going to do that for an hour, and then I'm done. Or 2 hours, and then I'm done. And then I'm going to go listen to some people who make me feel good. I'm going to throw on some good music. I'm going to open up a bottle of whatever makes me happy. I'm going to eat some good food. And I'm going to listen to my parasocial relationship that I have with Beyonce and play Cowboy Carter. Let me tell y'all, when Cowboy Carter won last night, I played Cowboy Carter all night long. I went to sleep to Cowboy Carter and I woke up to Cowboy Carter because I love that entire, from start to finish, from American Requiem to Amen. It is a masterpiece. My opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. But that parasocial relationship, from the time I liked her with Destiny's Child to watching that moment with her last night as part of the Beehive, that parasocial relationship heals me. It makes me happy to watch her children grow up. We have a child the same age. That parasocial relationship brings me joy. And it brings me great, a depth of great, immense pride to have watched her grow and to watch her family grow. That's healing for a lot of people. Think about your favorite artist, whether it's music or art or the written word, whatever the case may be. Think about how much their art heals you and brings you joy. And think about how when a great artist that you have loved, whose works have made you feel something deep in your soul, betrays you and hurts you. That's why I said that healing on two levels. One of those levels is to find things around you that heal you and then engage in those things as often as you can and let them heal your spirit. And it doesn't matter if that person or that thing never even acknowledges that you are in the world. All that matters is that they heal you. Some days I'm healing to Kendrick Lamar, and that man can write a poem and put it to music and make you feel something. Okay, So that's all I actually have for today. I wanted to come in and talk about building your tribe. I want us to think about really building that tribe and making sure that we stick to our rules. Rule number one, our peace is non-negotiable. Rule number two, don't let anyone or anything fuck with rule number one. And that's becoming even more important as the news keeps coming. Your tribe is your shield. You are part of someone else's shield. Others need to be part of your shield. So I watched the Grammys for 3 hours, and then I didn't log on to the internet and look at anything other than Grammy news. And I loved it. I got to swim in who wore what, and people were talking about the big win and the historical moment of all those things. And then I went to bed. Then I went to bed because I felt joy. I had peace. I was happy. Right? You have to make that space in your life now. And then you also have to start thinking about, okay, she said, I got to get out of the house. I got to actually go out there and meet new people and allow people to become part of my truth telling tribe and part of my healing tribe and part of my encouraging tribe and part of the people who actually genuinely like me tribe. It's time. It's time, because here's what we're not going to do. We're not locking ourselves in the house this time. Let me tell you something. If there's another pandemic, do you think this president is going to lock us down? Do you think this Congress is going to lock us down? Which means we need to start making connections with each other in ways that help us keep each other safe. So that should the world go sideways again, and we all still have to get out there, it's much easier when you have a group of people that you are connected to and you just decide, you know what, I'm just going to connect with my tribe for the most part, and that's going to be okay. I'm not going to try to go out and do too much out in the bigger, wider world because I got my tribe and I'm not isolated. I'm not alone. I feel safe. I've got encouragement. I got my eye on the news, and I got people who like me and will check up on me. I'm good, because the mental toll that being locked down for 2 years took on this country is coming. It's coming out in ugly ways. The isolation, though necessary, I lived in New York. It was absolutely necessary. And I don't regret anything that the administration had to do to keep us safe. But humans in isolation become feral, animalistic creatures, and they lose their humanity. They lose their humanity. And I think some of that happened, and we didn't get it back in time. And now here we are. Okay. All right. That's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. For those who tuned in, I see a couple people out there. So hello to everyone. Make sure that if you haven't yet, you pick up the Magical 7, Prioritizing and Thriving in 2025, because though it may seem strange to think, what do you mean? We're going to thrive? We're going to thrive. We're going to thrive, because in case you're not paying attention, underneath all that noise, there are movements afoot. There are movements afoot. I'm not going to get political today. I've done enough of that. This is about finding your tribe, but prioritizing and figuring out where you need to focus for the rest of the year is going to become even more important as this month wears on. So pick up the Magical 7. The link should be down somewhere down in the bio, and I will see you next time. Click like, click share, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.